Chosen ones, tonight I speak directly to you, because it is time to tell you everything. Everything that has been quietly waiting for you to understand. I speak not to flatter you, not to entertain you, but to awaken a truth that has been quietly sleeping inside of you. You are chosen. Not by chance, not by luck, but because of the qualities you carry, the resilience you have shown, and the potential that has been quietly growing within you. You are not here by accident, and your life has meaning far greater than the small moments you sometimes feel define you. First, you must understand that recognition of your purpose is not a matter of grandeur or spectacle. It is subtle and quiet. You may not see it in headlines or in praise from others. Your purpose is not necessarily about fame, riches, or even immediate success. It is about the ability to effect change, to act with wisdom, to stand firm when circumstances test you, and to show courage when fear surrounds you. Being chosen does not mean life will be easy. It means life will require you to confront yourself, to embrace your fears, and to rise despite doubt. And rising is not a single act. It is the small decisions, the daily actions, the moments when you choose integrity over comfort, courage over complacency, that define the chosen. Responsibility, however, comes hand in hand with being chosen. Many shy away from responsibility because it is heavy, uncomfortable, and often misunderstood. But it is through responsibility that your true self is revealed. To be chosen is not simply to be acknowledged. It is to act, to make decisions that matter, to carry the weight of influence without resentment. You will face opposition, confusion, and moments when it seems easier to hide, but it is precisely in those moments that your role becomes clear. The world does not need another spectator. It needs those who will stand firm, act wisely, and serve with intention. Yet, one of the greatest obstacles in the life of the chosen is not external, it is internal. Limiting beliefs whisper to you that you are not enough, that your dreams are too big, that the world has already decided your boundaries. These beliefs are lies you were never meant to believe. You are capable of more than you have allowed yourself to imagine. Every step you take to challenge fear, to reject doubt, to stretch your abilities, is a step toward the life you were designed to lead. Do not mistake struggle for failure. Struggle is the forge in which the chosen are made, and each challenge you face is a sign that you are on the path, that your presence is required in ways you may not yet fully understand. Finally, remember this: your life is not contained within the limits of your own story. It stretches far beyond, touching others in ways unseen and often unrecognized. Every choice you make, every act of courage, every expression of love and integrity ripples outward. Your success empowers others. Your discipline inspires others. Your vision, when acted upon, lights the way for those around you. You were chosen not for yourself alone, but because of the effect you are meant to have on the world. Tonight, I tell you everything because it is time. Time to stop questioning whether you belong. Time to stop doubting the significance of your efforts. Time to embrace the responsibilities of being chosen, to confront the internal barriers that hold you back, and to act with courage. Knowing your life touches more than you can measure. You are here not by accident. You are here because of who you are, because of what you can become, and because the world awaits the fullness of your contribution. Step forward with confidence. Step forward with purpose. Step forward because of you, and for everything that you were born to bring to life. You were chosen because there is something about you that the world needs, something unique that no one else can offer. It is not always loud or obvious. Sometimes it hides in the quiet corners of your life, in the small habits you maintain, the decisions you make when no one is watching. Purpose is rarely something announced with trumpets or displayed on a billboard. It is something that grows quietly, patiently, like a seed waiting for the right season. To recognize your purpose, you must first understand that your life is not random, that the moments that feel insignificant, the choices that feel unnoticed, the struggles that feel isolating are all part of a pattern designed specifically for you. Every challenge you face is shaping you, refining you, preparing you for something that only you can accomplish. You may look at others and wonder why their path seems smoother or why their successes are celebrated while yours remain hidden. But the path of the chosen is rarely simple. It is layered with tests, with lessons, with experiences that mold character more than skill, resilience more than talent, wisdom more than knowledge. Your uniqueness is not in what you have done, but in what you are capable of doing, in what the world cannot replicate, because only you possess the combination of your experiences, your perspective, and your will. Recognizing this requires courage, because it asks you to look beyond what is comfortable, beyond what is easy, and see the potential that exists in the unseen. It requires honesty, because you cannot recognize your purpose if you are pretending to be someone else, if you are measuring your life by someone else's standards. Purpose is intimately tied to authenticity. The moment you accept who you are, with all your strengths and all your flaws, is the moment you begin to see the outline of your true path. You were chosen because you carry qualities that are essential, qualities that may not always be apparent to you, but are recognized by the world in ways that are subtle yet profound. Patience, persistence, the ability to endure difficulty without giving up, the willingness to stand alone when necessary. These are markers of someone who is chosen. They are not always celebrated, but they are essential. Many people search for significance in external achievements, in wealth, status, or recognition. But the chosen understand that significance is internal first, that purpose is a seed that must grow before it can bear fruit. Every skill you develop, every habit you cultivate, every lesson you learn from failure is a building block for the purpose that awaits you. The world cannot rush this process, nor can it be substituted by shortcuts. You must walk through it, embrace it, and let it shape you. Recognizing your purpose also means understanding timing. Just because your contribution is not visible today does not mean it is insignificant. There is a season for preparation, a season for planting, and a season for harvesting. Being chosen does not grant instant gratification. It grants readiness to meet the moments that matter, to stand firm when opportunity arises, to act decisively when the world calls for your unique presence. It also means that your purpose is intertwined with influence. Your actions, your words, your integrity, these affect others in ways that are often unseen. You were chosen not for isolation, not for personal gain alone, but because your life has the capacity to shape others, to inspire, to set a standard that encourages growth, courage, and resilience. Recognizing this is liberating because it shifts your focus from seeking approval to embracing responsibility. You no longer need to compare yourself to others or measure your worth by fleeting standards. Your worth is inherent, your purpose is specific, and your contribution is necessary. Finally, to recognize your purpose is to begin living intentionally. Every decision becomes meaningful, every action becomes deliberate. You do not drift through life waiting for direction. You seek clarity, you embrace learning, you confront challenges, and you refine your abilities. Purpose is a compass, not a destination, and being chosen means you are already equipped with the tools to navigate the course. It requires faith in yourself, trust in the process, and a willingness to act even when the full picture is not visible. You must believe that your life matters, that your choices matter, and that the world cannot be complete without your presence. Understanding this transforms how you approach everything. Failure becomes a lesson, obstacles become opportunities, and everyday moments become the building blocks of something extraordinary. Recognition of your unique purpose is not a one-time revelation. It is a daily commitment to see the life before you not as random events, but as a coherent narrative, guiding you toward the impact only you can make. You were chosen, and everything within you has been preparing for this moment, this life, this calling that the world waits for you to fulfill. Being chosen carries with it responsibility, not as a burden, but as a calling. Responsibility is not a chain to bind you, it is a tool to shape you, to refine your character, and to demonstrate the depth of your courage. Many avoid responsibility because it feels heavy, because it exposes them to scrutiny, because it asks them to act when they would rather watch from the sidelines. Yet the chosen understand that responsibility is inseparable from influence, that the moment you step into your purpose, you automatically step into situations where decisions matter, where your actions ripple beyond your own life, where hesitation can cost not only you, but those who rely on you, even unknowingly. To embrace responsibility is to acknowledge that life is not a spectator sport, that waiting for perfect conditions or ideal timing is an illusion, that growth and impact require active participation. Every choice you make, whether to lead, to speak, to serve, or to act with integrity, carries weight, and the world recognizes those who act with courage even when outcomes are uncertain. Fear often disguises itself as caution, doubt, or procrastination, and it whispers lies that you are not ready, that the risks are too great, that someone else is better suited for this. But responsibility demands that you rise above these whispers, that you take ownership not because it is easy, but because it is necessary. The chosen understand that mistakes will happen, that missteps are part of the journey, yet they do not allow fear of error to paralyze them. They learn from failure, correct course when needed, and persist because action, even imperfect, is far more powerful than inaction. Responsibility is also about accountability, about holding yourself to higher standards than the world demands, about being answerable not only to others, but to your own conscience and vision. It is about understanding that your decisions influence outcomes in ways you cannot always see, and that avoiding responsibility does not remove the consequences. It only transfers them or delays them, often at greater cost. To embrace responsibility without fear is to recognize that courage is not the absence of fear, but the willingness to act despite it. It is to understand that growth and purpose are inseparable from challenge, that leadership is not granted but earned through consistent, disciplined action, and that the world calls for those who are willing to step forward when hesitation feels safer. You are chosen because you have within you the capacity to manage this responsibility, to rise to occasions that others might flee, to make decisions that reflect wisdom, fairness, and integrity. But embracing responsibility also means embracing discomfort. You will be tested in ways that push you beyond what you believed you could endure. You will face criticism, misunderstanding, and even betrayal, and yet the measure of the chosen is not how easy the path is, but how steadfastly they remain committed to their obligations and values. Responsibility asks you to lead by example, to act when others wait, to prioritize long-term impact over short-term approval. It asks you to invest effort, attention, and care even when recognition is absent, because the fruits of your labor often grow in unseen ways before they manifest in the world. Every task, no matter how small, is an opportunity to strengthen your character, refine your judgment, and build trust with those who depend on you. Avoiding responsibility may bring comfort today, but it erodes purpose and diminishes influence. The chosen embrace accountability because they understand that life is a series of interconnected decisions, that one responsible action can prevent chaos, inspire courage, and change the trajectory of countless lives. Fear cannot dictate the choices of someone destined to make a difference. Hesitation cannot define someone called to act. Responsibility without fear is the hallmark of those who are chosen. It is not a gift given lightly. It is a challenge meant to awaken strength, to cultivate resilience, and to demonstrate that your presence in the world is meaningful and necessary. To step into responsibility is to step into life fully, to recognize that every decision, every effort, every ethical choice matters, and that the path of the chosen is one of active engagement, not passive observation. Embracing responsibility without fear transforms ordinary moments into opportunities for influence, ordinary decisions into acts of courage, and ordinary lives into testimonies of purpose. It is the choice to act decisively, wisely, and with integrity, to carry the weight of influence with humility, and to understand that being chosen is not a title or privilege, but a call to consistent, courageous action that shapes your life and the lives of those around you. Limiting beliefs are the silent chains that bind the chosen, the invisible walls that make the impossible seem inevitable, the quiet whispers that convince you that your dreams, your vision, and your purpose are too far beyond your reach. They begin subtly, often disguised as caution, self-protection, or practical thinking. They are formed through repetition. Through hearing, you can't. More than you can, through observing the failures of others as though they define what is possible for you. Every person has them. Yet the chosen understand that these beliefs are not reality. They are merely interpretations, false assumptions, habits of thought that can be challenged, dismantled, and replaced. The first step to overcoming them is recognition. You must see the thoughts that limit you, name them, and confront them with honesty. It is not enough to hope they will disappear on their own, because the mind is not passive. It reinforces patterns unless deliberately interrupted. Awareness is power, and once you identify a limiting belief, you can begin the work of testing it against reality, against evidence, against your own capacity. Often, what feels impossible is simply unpracticed, unfamiliar, or uncomfortable. Fear masquerades as logic, convincing you that staying within old boundaries is safer, that avoiding risk protects you, that stepping forward is reckless. But the chosen know that growth lies beyond comfort, that mastery, achievement, and impact require breaking through the boundaries of fear and doubt. To overcome limiting beliefs, action is essential. Thinking alone is not enough. Belief is strengthened through demonstration. Small acts of courage, consistent efforts to expand skill and knowledge, and repeated practice of stepping beyond fear all chip away at the walls that confine potential. Limiting beliefs often tell you that failure is to be avoided, that mistakes define you, that your past determines your future. But the chosen understand that failure is feedback, that mistakes are lessons, and that your history does not define your destiny. Each time you challenge a belief, each time you act against the voice that says, you cannot, you expand the boundaries of what is possible. Another critical step is the refusal to internalize the expectations or judgments of others. Many limiting beliefs are external in origin: the doubt of peers, the skepticism of mentors, the pressures of society, the assumptions of family. While feedback can be valuable, unchallenged external expectations often become internalized rules, dictating what you believe you are capable of. The chosen learn to separate external noise from internal truth, to weigh advice without surrendering autonomy, to respect experience without relinquishing vision. Surrounding yourself with those who encourage growth, who model possibility, who challenge mediocrity without diminishing ambition, is essential in dismantling limiting beliefs. Equally important is cultivating a mindset of curiosity and learning. Limiting beliefs thrive on stagnation and repetition. They weaken when you explore new knowledge, test new skills, and engage with perspectives that expand your understanding. Every book read, every skill learned, every new challenge faced is a blow to the assumptions that once held you captive. Discipline and consistency reinforce this process. Breaking free is rarely sudden, but gradual, a steady unlayering of doubts and fears as evidence accumulates that you are capable, that you are prepared, that you are ready. Visualization and intentional thought also play a role. The chosen imagine themselves achieving what others deem impossible, rehearsing success in the mind until the belief in impossibility begins to dissolve. The brain, when trained through focus and repetition, begins to accept new possibilities as reality, paving the way for action. Perhaps the most profound insight is that limiting beliefs often arise from a fear of responsibility, from the weight of potential, from the awareness that achieving greatness changes relationships, routines, and identity. The chosen confront this fear, understanding that influence and success demand adaptation, courage, and intentional growth. Limiting beliefs are not vanquished once and for all. They must be continuously confronted, challenged, and replaced with evidence of capability, with repeated demonstration of courage, and with unwavering belief in one's purpose. To live as the chosen is to recognize that these internal barriers are temporary, that your potential is far greater than your doubts, and that every act of defiance against limitation brings you closer to the life, the contribution, and the impact you were destined to fulfill. The chosen do not merely hope they can rise above, they act, persist, and prove it over and over until belief becomes reality and possibility becomes fact. Your life is never just about you. The chosen understand that every decision, every action, every choice carries consequences far beyond immediate perception, rippling into the lives of others, shaping circumstances, inspiring thought, and influencing outcomes in ways that are often invisible. It begins with awareness, the conscious realization that your presence, your integrity, and your effort matter beyond personal gain. What you do today, even in what feels like insignificance, can create opportunities for others, open doors that were previously closed, and spark courage in someone who needs to see that possibility exists. Influence is not always loud. It is often quiet, persistent, and cumulative. The chosen learn to recognize the power of small, deliberate acts, a word of encouragement, a disciplined commitment to excellence, a decision made ethically in the face of compromise, a risk taken when hesitation feels safer. Each act compounds, creating momentum that extends far beyond what you can immediately perceive. Impact is magnified when you accept responsibility, when you act with intentionality rather than reaction. Every action becomes a teaching moment, every choice a demonstration of possibility, every success a silent statement that achievement is attainable through diligence, courage, and integrity. You are chosen because the world needs your specific combination of talents, experiences, and perspective. No one else can duplicate what you bring. Your influence, therefore, is unique and irreplaceable. Families, communities, workplaces, and even strangers are affected by the energy, commitment, and vision you bring into every space. Sometimes the effects are direct and visible, sometimes subtle and invisible, but they are always real. Understanding this encourages deliberate action, intentional living, and disciplined focus. The chosen recognize that short-term comfort is often sacrificed for long-term impact. They understand that meaningful contribution requires sustained effort, sometimes against opposition, sometimes in obscurity, and sometimes with no immediate reward. Yet the measure of significance is not in recognition, but in the change you foster, the lives you touch, and the legacies you begin to shape. Every challenge faced, every obstacle overcome, every step forward becomes part of a greater story, a narrative that extends beyond your personal ambitions into the lives of those who follow, observe, or are inspired by your example. Leadership is an extension of this principle. You do not need a title to influence others. Your commitment, consistency, and courage are sufficient to establish standards, to model resilience, and to inspire action. The chosen embrace this responsibility willingly, understanding that influence is inseparable from purpose. Neglecting your impact diminishes your potential, not only for personal fulfillment, but for the transformation of those around you. Small gestures of integrity, empathy, and courage can ignite change in unexpected ways, creating chains of influence that stretch further than you can see. Your words matter. Your actions matter. Your decisions matter. Each carries the power to affect family dynamics, workplace culture, community growth, and social consciousness. The chosen cultivate awareness of this interconnectedness, treating every choice as both personal and collective. Accountability is central to this understanding. You are responsible not only for your personal success, but for the way your life intersects with the lives of others. To act without consideration for impact is to squander opportunity, to neglect influence, to underestimate the importance of presence. You cannot predict every effect, yet deliberate action grounded in values and purpose ensures that your influence is constructive rather than destructive. Mentorship, guidance, and example setting become natural extensions of this awareness. When you live deliberately, your life becomes a roadmap for others, demonstrating what is possible when courage, persistence, and integrity guide decision-making. Communities thrive, relationships deepen, and opportunities multiply because someone recognized that impact extends beyond self-interest. The chosen understand the cumulative nature of influence. One act of courage leads to another. One act of kindness inspires countless others. One decision rooted in integrity reverberates across environments, creating a standard of excellence and possibility. Legacy is not a distant concept for the chosen. It is built daily, consciously, through every effort to act in alignment with purpose, aware that influence is the natural consequence of living intentionally. You were chosen not simply to exist, not merely to survive, not only to achieve personal ambitions, but to be an agent of transformation, a catalyst for progress, a force that extends beyond the boundaries of your own life. Understanding that your existence has meaning far beyond your immediate sphere empowers you to live with deliberate focus, to act courageously, to embrace responsibility, and to cultivate influence. The world is waiting for what only you can bring, and the ripple of your life, when guided by purpose, courage, and integrity, can shape futures, transform communities, and inspire generations, ensuring that your impact extends far beyond the self, becoming the proof that being chosen is never about privilege, but about contribution, responsibility, and the extraordinary reach of deliberate action.